Alright, match 1 with... And you're still gurgling and joking. Alright, match 1 with Crokey's blue-red taking turns deck with Lotus Field. I don't think with this deck that you can mulligan toward Lotus Field, so I think we just have to hope that our early interaction's enough to keep us alive if we're up against a creature deck. Alright, mono green. Well, I guess we have to hope we draw another land so we can... It's a bit of a risk, like I could play that out, but I think if I try to do the setup, then we're just going to get blown out, unfortunately. So, because mono green just is too quickly. That hand was kind of predicated on finding a third lane and Brotherhood's ending whatever we ran into. Now we have the Lotus Field, we just need to find at least land drop number 2 for discontinuity. So, opponent reevaluating their life. Okay, so they are actually... they are actually mono green aggro, which has been popping up every now and again. I think I played against it with mono white humans, doing some best of 1 last night. So, anywhere else, sure. Looks like they might be missing a second land, third land, I mean. Nope, they have a land. Alright. So, make sure you set your stop. Do this. Play discontinuity. So the reason I'm working on this deck is I do think this is another deck that could adapt the up the beanstalk. So now we have an interesting choice. I think I just go ahead and do Behold, trying to find land drops. We definitely don't want either one of those. Hit a land drop. Yay, land drop. Take the hit. Wipe the board. And then hold up. Fire Impulse. Old Grove Troll. Okay, Blood Sun. So go to Exile instead. Okay. Trolling. Hopefully they play. Oh boy. Well, looks like they're a go big version of this shenanigans. So, Pulse. Impulse. Blitz. Bit of a gamble, but we'll go with Blood Sun here. Alright, another land drop and pass. They have another hasty threat. We're just s'mores, but Gargaroth is definitely annoying. One of the things I've noticed with this deck is there's a lot of air in it. A Banish Mystic, sure. Okay, so end your turn. Chandra, Hope's Beacon. Not sure what I could find off her that would exile. Double Fiery Impulse. I think that'll have to do. Trigger, both on those. Boom. Boom. And pass. Okay. Questing Beast. Guess the only nice part is they can't currently kill Chandra. So we will get to untap with Chandra here. Okay, so add 2 red. Brotherhood's End. It's unfortunately going to kill our Chandra, but it does at least deal with their current board. So cast Behold, double Lotus Field, not what we're currently looking for here. Double land, not really what we're looking for. Do you have yet another hasty threat? Okay, we have all the mana in the world, nothing to do with it. And we're dead. Good to know. Alright, so one thing this deck is really lacking is any type of Ether Gust effect. Obliterating Bolt's probably fine. Burn Down the House is fine. Smoldering Egg is a bit middling. Ending Volley does nothing. Red Cat Melee is nothing. Flame Bolt does nothing. Attempted, yeah. It's a whole lot of air in this deck. Doesn't feel like Spell Pierce does much. So Crokey's did quite well with this deck a couple months ago, but I do think there's some significant air in the deck. So I've been playing it a little bit more to try to get a better idea of how I want to approach it. Turn 1 Elf. Nope, Shaper Sanctuary. Well, that's problematic. Blood Sun. Bottom both. We're really looking for copy of Lotus Field. His opponent is Mono Green Devotion. They're just a more creature-based version, which is actually unironically far more annoying for us. So... yeah, there's just no way out of this. So, definitely going to play more with the deck, but I'm just trying to figure out what the sweet spot for the deck style is. Alright, match 2. This hand just doesn't do anything. This hand is fine against an aggressive deck, but we're up against a Urion deck, so probably not good. No lander. This hand's okay. Keep that. Hope we find Bloodstone or something next turn. Okay, so we're up against one of the weaker forms of Urion decks, the mono white pile decks. It's already one Chandra on the bottom. Flame Blitz definitely not. I'm gonna risk keeping Chandra. So really do need to find a discontinuity or diffusion, not diffusion, discontinuity. Okay. Should have been more careful with how we pitched that, but okay, so you just get the farm hand right back. So definitely screwed up the timing of killing that. Fire this off, pitching that. It has the Wandering Emperor. Okay. Seriously, you're going after treasure tokens of all things. Alright. I legitimately don't know how Crokey's won with this build of the deck. Like, I watched him play it, and it just... the results don't indicate. This deck just seems really, really bad. It's fine. which is fine. I think it's a one of. First, his hand is alright. Is a bit lacking in terms of so it looks like they actually left in portable holes. They got the ability to Jwari Disruption and Behold the Multiverse. Take a hit for one and or two and like it. Blood Sun is one of the things we're looking for here. Okay, so Blood Sun. Want to activate your Field of Ruin. This is your last opportunity. And you're giving me one more mana to work with, which is fine by me. Trigger. So this is what the deck is supposed to do. You're supposed to get a Chandra in and then start taking extra turns. It's just how do we get there? Like, this deck plays more like some of the other blue-white X Lotus Field decks that I haven't liked. I mean, yeah, that this has already done what it was supposed to do, so. So do this. Play Chandra. So you can either tick down for 2, tick up for 2 red, put this to 7, and I think we just go with this, because if I copy Brotherhood's End, then Chandra goes down to 1. So opponent still has Skyclave Apparition in their deck, so I don't think I want to go with the Smoldering Egg or Squee plan. Spell Pierce has a few targets like the Wandering Emperor and like some other removal spells, but not really relevant. Like, none of these cards make a ton of sense other than Fiery Impulse. Braid is okay-ish, but okay, so what does this hand do? This hand has Lotus Field, but no way to stifle the trigger. This hand is looking for Lotus Field, but does have enough early plays to get us there. So out, pass. Put out something on end step, perhaps? Opponent's playing a weird deck. Containment Priest, sure. It literally does nothing other than it's a flash threat. Okay, so they're just literally terrible white devotion. Play this. Okay, well, I think I keep one because there's no guarantee that this sticks around, so. I think the best case scenario for us is that they play something out that isn't the Wandering Emperor. Okay, so they're just going to put Urion in their hand. That is perfectly fine. Now we do this. Draw a card. Play that. Play Brotherhood's End. Alright, and the opponent scoots. Alright, take a look at this hand. This hand does the thing, so good enough. It's a Gigantha deck. So we do want to hold up Spell Pierce in case they have a Thunk Seize on one. Okay, so they are Rakdos. Pass. Rakdos Sacrifice. Opponent does nothing. Okay, so put that. Put that on the stack. Response. Discontinuity. So they are Grixis. Okay. I have no idea what that even means. At least in terms of what their deck is capable of playing. So. Yep, you got yourself a baby shark. But I don't know of any Grixis decks in the format, so. Okay, so apparently you plan on just playing a bunch of baby sharks. Now that song stuck in my head. Still, what is this deck capable of playing? Thoughtseize. Yeah, unfortunately that's going to resolve. Play something like a Nikki B here. Nope, Fable and Mirrorbreaker. Okay. Still, I guess I'd be getting creativity vibes at this point. For what? Atraxa? It's the only thing that would make sense. Kill your baby shark and your Fable the Mirror Breaker. Play this Behold the Beyond and pass. Opponent likes their hand. Good to know. Plays a land. Play Behold the Beyond, so it does look like they are running some number of counter spells, perhaps. Discontinuity is an okay draw. Let's see. Suspend that. Or not foretell that. Foretell that. And pass. Yeah, pay. We just pass. This Behold the Multiverse. Don't really want the Blitz. Do I want an island? Not really. Okay, so that is currently 6 mana plus 2. I think we try to wait for them to make another move. Big score. This might be tempting enough for them to counterspell. Of course, if their counterspells are only like make disappear nonsense, this isn't really that tempting of a target. Or this Behold the Multiverse might be. I'm just going to try to brute force with Chandra's. Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with Bankbuster. That's just... Okay, guess we jam a Chandra. So currently 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Do have 2 counter spells. That is what this deck is ideally trying to do, is set up the Chandra plus... Okay. So, Test of Talents is fine. Breaker Core might be okay. Red Cap Melee is a little too specific. A Braid. Cards do we not want? Some of the more expensive removal spells are a little middling. I'll go down a Disruption on the draw. This deck only runs 22 actual lands, so I can't cut down too much on the middle face cards. I'll try like that. So our opponent's just like Grixis Transmogrify with a little bit of like permission, probably. Like make disappear, that kind of stuff. So, alright, well that's fine, I guess. Alright, so taking a look at the wrap on this deck. So, this deck play is obviously considerably different than the Azorius Lotus. Like it probably, I would say it probably plays closer to the more traditional Azorius Lotus Field Control deck with like the Impulse version, and has a little bit more early play. So I'm kind of used to that play pattern, or not as used to that play pattern, having played the Sylvan Scrying version, where you're just trying to set up these big game-ending plays. So what this deck has going for it that I like is the combination of Chandra and game-ending spells like Alrund's Epiphany. I like this ending of it, and then you can discontinuity into that. Blood Sun is really only awkward when your opponent's playing Beseju, because your Lotus Field loses hexproof, but like things like Field of Ruin and stuff aren't able to deal with that way. So I really do like the play pattern of turn 3 Blood Sun, or turn 4 Blood Sun, immediately play Lotus Field, have a 3-mana play. I like those parts of the decks. The parts I don't like are this kind of like fidgety mid-game, where you have some amount of interaction, like the Fiery Impulses, the early disruptions. Sometimes that's quite nice, like when you're up against the smaller creature decks. Brotherhood's End is a decent sweeper, especially on turn 4 in a lot of situations. The one thing that's lacking is just kind of this like mid plan of like how do you bridge that gap into the Chandra Alrund's Epiphany mid game. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't exactly like his setup in that regard. I think the sideboard is just a one of all over the place mess. So no, don't get me wrong. Crokey is a very good player, and he definitely thinks out of the box compared to traditional Magic players. So that's fine. His list did well for him. That's fine. But I'm trying to figure out how to like wrap this around into like a coherent shell. I do think going the way of adding up the Beanstalk, adding Sylvan Scrying, and fixing the mana base to have that little bit of green that you need, I think all that is fine. but I need something in the middle to bridge. The problem with Chandra, like Memory Deluge is like my preferred card draw spell. But I understand why Behold the Multiverse and Big Score are used, because with Chandra, Memory Deluge is actually useless because you would copy it, but I don't know. I would have to try some games out with Chandra with Memory Deluge to see. Because Memory Deluge is how much mana you pump into it. So if Memory Deluge, the copy copies the mana you use into it, then you would obviously look at 4. But I do believe it just copies it, which means you'd spend no mana on it, which means the copy does absolutely nothing. So I would have to try some amount of games with Memory Deluge just to test the mechanics of that out. So I understand Behold the Multiverse in this. The foretell cards are interesting. I mean, your opponent can't necessarily lock in on which foretell cards you're using. You could also potentially use a couple of the hard foretell counters. But the other big problem with the blue-red variant of the deck is you're lacking something like Farewell to just like slam the door on a lot of situations. Like Brotherhood's End is a fine substitute for something, say like Doomscar, but it's not like a catch-all answer to everything. In that regard, maybe Burn Down the House is the card you're looking for in some number on the main, but you do have the problem of, if you copy it, you're killing your Chandra. So, but yeah, I just think there's a little bit too much of the fidgety mid-range stuff and not enough of the I need to find my combo, set up the combo. I think part of the reason I started messing with this deck is I'm interested in the end game of Chandra and Alrund's Epiphany, and it's just a matter of how to get to that point, how to build the deck to where it consistently executes that game plan and consistently hits the Lotus Field. And would give a little bit of a difference from the Azorius-based version, or the Bant version that we play. So, anyways, if you like this kind of explorer content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know if you've messed around with any type of builds like this. And hope to see you for next week's video.